Xeno Dead is a fast-paced FPS tinged with a melancholic atmosphere. After aliens have come to the planet Earth to siphon its resources, the humans decide it's best to call in their strongest weapon, you, the assassin. Nothing in this game's Steam store description I have any disagreement with, and more importantly, it's a semi-retro boomer shooter FPS with no roguelite and light on the arena shooter feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
If any game you should get hyped for I have shown, unless FPS roguelite arena shooters are your thing, then keep a lookout for Death Moon. But if you want the real retro feel, that's Xeno Dead. This game is brimming in atmosphere. You wake up in a lab.
Good morning, assassin. You're probably wondering what you're doing awake. To cut to the chase. Humanity has entered a war against the alien myriad. All the countries in the world have done everything they can. But we're losing. You are our last stand. Humanity's last chance. Here, you're gonna need this.
After she hands you a gun, you're off to a quick tutorial, and god does the movement feel perfect. Closer to Unreal than Quake, but if that's the sandwich you're in the middle of just for mobility and movement, well, that's a big fucking win in that department. The tutorial teaches you the basics in traversal, with double jump and dash, but it's once you test out the combat training, this game's identity in terms of gameplay becomes a lot more clear. First you learn the shooting, which feels nice and tight, and paired with the movement is wonderful. Weapon feedback is great, and responsive, though the grenades in this game I hope gets patched up. It's like throwing a wet bag of shit molded into a ball that either blows up in your own face, refuses to activate, or more commonly explode only when you shoot at it. Sometimes. If anything I can bestow upon the developer to fix, because this will be my only complaint, but please fix the grenades from feeling like throwing an elderly person's diaper. Unless you actually replace the grenade with a literal filled-up diaper, then that's a fine trade-off too. Next up is your kicking ability, which can ricochet enemy attacks, and with the swarms of enemies and the speed of everything, this started to give me the Ultra Kill vibes, which is never a bad thing. Unless you choose the third hardest difficulty, more on that later. The game does its upgrades via secrets when you find these alien pyramids. After learning the basics, you go to the main hub to select missions and to get debriefings. The first level is more or less in a mine shaft, and it is a little more tight corridor-based fighting, and it's fast and glorious. Oh, I also forgot, this game has an attack known as the Time Bomb, which creates a dome that freezes enemies in time inside of it, and unlike I Am Sequoia, a Toho FPS game, this one actually works perfectly, to the point I'd be scared of Activision buying up the studio to program for Call of Duty Warzone. We miss you, Raven. The first enemies you deal with are these stationary soldiers who fire at you, as well as these hordes of gnomes that gang up on you if you don't thin the herd. Eventually you make it outside of the mineshaft to barracks that gave me the Necrovision meets Kivolt vibes. Now the game really starts to shine, with its more open map design. This game is just so refreshing in an Ultra Kill sense because of its dependency on always moving. Think Viscera Fest without the bunny hopping. Not only in this level do you go from destroyed barracks to a destroyed city, but the enemy variety each with their own attacks, like this Mancubus Cacodemon hybrid, and this rejected Silent Hill character who is one of the cooler enemy reveals I've seen in fucking years. After defeating the level, you teleport back to the main hub to get a stat overlay of the last mission, and to select your next mission. The next level starts off in a sewer. Well, that's not my thing, but when Civvy finally sees this game, you'll know it's waiting for him. You're not there for too long, but this is a theme-based mission where for certain parts you have to wear a gas mask and make it to a yellow button to get back breathable air. Think the Metro franchise. But fun. It changes up the flow and got me killed a couple of times. Eventually you go through another sewer that leads to Pyramid Head Diet, and these guys really add a new face of attention to this game when they show up. Not just in the fact they're bullet sponges, but that secondary attack evolution, much less when you face 4 of these fucking assholes. And much like Ultra Kill and Viscera Fest, you might die a lot, but it's the thrill of overcoming such odds that upon first glance we thought impossible, that through sheer stubborn nature we persevere. This game does that exceptionally. After defeating another Pyramid Head, I beat that level and get transported to the main hub to get ready for a boss fight. I wasn't ready. Remember the difficulty settings? It might not say ultra violence, but for this boss fight, it might definitely top any boss in Quake on Nightmare. First you got to get to the boss, which almost starts as a fuck you, hope you remember the mechanics and physics. If you make it through that, you make your way to the top of a moving train as you have another tight fight with enemies you don't want to be in a tight fight with. If you survive that, you face off against a UFO ship as it spawns random enemies on the moving train as it targets certain areas with bombs. The idea is to press the yellow buttons during this chaos as hell rains down on you and from above. I died. A lot. So much so that eventually I'll replay this game on its normal setting. I consider myself lucky to do this playtest, honestly. It's that fucking good.